We are continuing on Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim Hilchot Shabbat. We are up to Siman Shin Aleph Seif Yud and Daf Ein Chet Amud Bet of your regular Mishna Beruras. Shulchan Aruch writes Tabat Shkavua Ba'evin. We are speaking about carrying rings. The last Seif Tet was about men versus women carrying rings back in the day. They did not necessarily have rings for men unless it was something with a stamp. And so on. So therefore, says the Shulchan Aruch, Tabat shkavua ba'evin, vechen im ktuvim bah otiot. The stone that is on a ring, or if it is written on it different letters that are engraved in the tabat, en ala chotam mikri. This is considered something that doesn't have chotam, doesn't have a stamp. Now, in Seif Tet, we said before that a man should not go out with a tabat she'en alea chotam. Should not go out with a ring that doesn't have a stamp, because that's not considered necessarily a man's ring. Back in the day, again, we mentioned that bachras, these are very subjective, depends on the minhag of the people in the generation. But again, back in the day, men only wore rings that had their stamp on it, and they used it for business. They sealed things. It was not just a stamp like we have nowadays with an ink, but many of them had wax seals on leathers and packages, and the wax would be sealing it in a way that the opening would be noticed, and the way you would know who poured the wax and who sealed it was every person had their own special seal with the designs and writings and whatnot, and it would seal into hot, fresh wax, and that would kind of like be their signature that can't be forged easily. So they had this on. Says the Shulchan Aruch, if you don't have any chotam, as a man carrying a ring without a signature, without the chotam, the stamp on, it's going to be chayav. It's isur doraita, said the Shulchan Aruch. If you have a stamp on it, then according to Rashi, it's still the Rabbanan a problem, because we're concerned maybe you're going to take it off and carry it, show it to people, or come to carry it, which is the same thing as the concern we have for women taking different pieces of jewelry and so on, and showing it to people. It will be mutar. The eino tachshit, because it's not necessarily a tachshit to be shown to people. It's a levush. It's something that that you wear, and it's only a tachshit for a man. It's not necessarily considered something that they would take off. They're not concerned about that. Now, aval davar shu tachshit deish or leisha, but something that's considered a beautifying element, a tachshit, for men and women alike, asur gam leish, it will be asur even for men. Now, by the way, a ring that a woman would wear, which we're talking about over here, that if a man wears it, it will be a problem on Shabbat. You would ask, well, is it also a problem of lo yilbash, right? Lo yilbash gever simlat isha, that a man is not allowed to wear simlat isha. This actually comes a question sometimes in a wedding day, like the chatan is very nervous, wants to make sure that the ring is not lost. Now the ring belongs to his wife, so what he does is he's going to put it in his pinky, right? This way you make sure that it's not falling anywhere, right? It's not going to be lost. So is that mutar to wear? Or a husband is trying to take the ring of the wife to fix it or to do whatever it is that, so that the poskim right already, if you're doing it for temporary, for an hour or two, whatever it is, to carry it, to make sure it doesn't get lost, that is not considered an isur of lo yilbash gever simlat isha. And so the same would be with the case of the hatan as well. But nevertheless, that's the premise of Seif Yud, and therefore Shulchan Aruch needs to say, now, stone, a gem on a diamond or any other gem, which we have, some of the rings that are for men, they have precious gems on them, diamonds on them, and so on. That says the Shulchan Aruch is not considered the chotam, that is considered like a regular ring that doesn't have chotam, as far as carrying it on Shabbat, which will become a bigger trouble, and it is not an issue only if it is chotam on it. אין עליה חותם מקרי שלא נקרא חותם, אלא אם כן חקוקים בה אותיות או צורות. Only if it is engraved in it letters or different pictures, which you could do actually a stamp. But if you have written something on it, but you can't stamp it, that's not a chotam. If you have written but it's not engraved, engraving could actually make an impression in the wax or make a chotam. But a regular writing on it cannot make any impression or anything. So therefore, that would be considered a tabat she'en bo chotam. It will be a bigger problem. Says Shulchan Aruch in Seif Yud Aleph, davar ha'asui letachshid u'lishtamesh bo. If something is a multi-purpose item, it is beautiful, but it is also something that you use. So is that mutar or asur? Kegon maftechot naot. You have beautiful keys that are made out of silver or gold. Shel kesef kemin tachshit is asur, still asur. Sheharoe omer, because the person will see it, will say shelatzorech tashmish motzi. If you have a golden key that you're hanging on your in your bracelet or whatnot, that is a problem because it looks like you're carrying it in order to use it. The yesh matirin, says the Shulchan Aruch, there are those who allow it imhu shel kesef, only if it is made out of silver, because that is considered already a tachshit. Umikol makom asur laset betik shel batei naim shkorin brilin. It's a problem when you go out with the casing of batei naim, glasses, right, that they would call brilin. So now the Mishna Berura says that even if right now your kavanah is that this key that you're taking, the silver key that you're taking, is only for tachshit, is like this is the key to your safe. You're going outside, there's no safe outside, so you're not carrying it because you want to go open something. You're doing it purely because it's just gorgeously beautiful, right? And it's considered a tachshit. It's your part of your jewelry set. It will be still asur, because a person that sees it doesn't know that. He thinks you're going to carrying it for tashmish, for using it, and therefore it will be a problem. Again, this is a machloket rishonim that they allow, Rabbeinu Tam and Rambam allow for a man to go out with a tachshit, or is talking about a case that the mafteach is part and parcel of the shalshelet, of the chain that is around your neck, and you can't take it off easily, right? And show it off to people. Either of those two cases will be the case of Shulchan Aruch, which will be the reason it will be mutar. Now, Shulchan Aruch says imhu shel kesef, the lenient opinion, v'yesh matirim imhu shel kesef, that holds that you could do it only if it's made out of kesef. The kevan the en derech lasot b'afteach min kesef, because normally people do not make keys out of kesef. So if you made a silver, literally a silver or gold key, hare ikaron aset tachshit, is clear that the main reason of it is for jewelry purposes, and therefore it is mutar. Mutar k'shemotziyo l'shem tachshit, aval im hu asui mi barzel, but if it's made out of metal, regular cheap metals, iron or copper, then afal pi the asui leno, even though that is shiny and made very nicely, or it's not even a real key. It looks like a key, but it's not a key that opens anything. It's just a piece of metal, piece of iron, or piece of copper that looks like a key. Then it will be a problem. Because it's not necessarily a tachshit. Either it will be ikarol tashmish, or it will look like a carrying act of hotza'ah for sorech tashmish, therefore it will be asur. Now, this that the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah says, you cannot go out with the casing of your glasses. Hainu tikshel kesef, even though that the casing is made out of kesef, out of silver, and it is attached with a nice chain, and you put it on your neck, so it's nice. It's all made out of beautiful pure silver. That still would be a problem because it's not considered tachshit, even though it's made out of kesef. And of course, it goes without saying that if you carry it with your hand, it's going to be a problem because that is a full-fledged, full-on carrying, and obviously that would be asur. Now, just finishing this Seif, says the Shulchan Aruch ubeshe'ena. This is the Ramah. Afal pishe hatiku shel kesef, even though that the casing is made out of pure silver, that even the glasses themselves are considered carrying. Now, this obviously is a bombshell. We have to deal with this, right? What type of glasses is the Ramah speaking about? Because nowadays people go out with their glasses, no problem. So you have to understand the mitziut, the reality that was prevalent in the time of the Ramah and Maram Bet Yosef. This is again the Ramah quoting the Bet Yosef really. And then the second bombshell is that if you have a mafteach, a regular metal, cheap metal, iron or copper key, then even if it is part of your belt, it still will be asur. Now this, of course, is very much nogea, the she'ela that everyone asks, the people who live outside of Eruv, how do they get into their house? Now nowadays you have the combination locks and so on and so forth. It's easier, but many used to and still do have this Shabbat belt that the key is part of it, and that becomes a question because it seems like the Ramah is saying that would be a problem. There are those who allow it, which is something that we have to now discuss. So we have two things to discuss in the next shiur, starting the case of the mafteach on the belt and the case of glasses, going out in the Shut HaRabim with glasses. If you have a bifocal, if you have a reading glasses, or regular, nearsighted eye that needs glasses to walk around and see and read far things, that we have to discuss Be'ezrat Hashem in the next shiur.